When Suzanne Somers was stricken with breast cancer and had a lumpectomy more than a decade ago, she refused to have breast reconstruction surgery, believing that medical research would at some point lead to a better way to restore her body. Well, that day came this summer when the Hollywood star and medical activist underwent a cutting-edge treatment called stem cell breast reconstruction. Here is part one of Newsmax Health's exclusive interview with Suzanne, in which she explains what she believes might have caused her breast cancer. And Suzanne, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Let's start with the beginning of your experience with breast cancer. Do you have any idea what might have caused your cancer, and do you think there was anything you could have done to prevent it?
A couple of things, but then this is just me having a lot of years to think about it. I took birth control pills for 22 years. Has anyone really ever done the study as to make a connection between birth control pills and breast cancer? I don't know. I doubt it'll ever be done, but what I do realize about birth control pills is that a woman doesn't fully ovulate. So therefore you're messing with nature. Anytime you mess with the balance of nature, I think you're setting yourself up for jeopardy. But also Dr. Jonathan Wright, I was interviewing him from one of my books, and he did some hormone testing on me because my ratio got off. And he said, I'm worried about the possibility of you getting a recurrence because your numbers, although they're right, they're in the wrong order. And he discovered a genetic defect in me that my body does not make estriol, which is the cancer protective component of estrogen. The remedy is so simple. What he does now with my hormone regimen is adds in an additional replacement of the estriol. So that, for me, feels that I am protecting myself from getting a recurrence. So that is why I believe I got breast cancer, but I could be all wrong.
After you underwent treatment and had a mastectomy, why didn't you go ahead and do what millions of other women do, get an implant and have reconstruction surgery?
Actually, it was a lumpectomy, and I had thought that with a lumpectomy that they were going to essentially remove a lump. But my tumor, which was large, was way back against the chest wall, and when they took the bandages off, 2/3 of my breast was gone. And at the time, I refused chemotherapy, and I refused the aftercare drugs of tamoxifen, and I stayed on my hormone regimen, and which upset my doctors, but I believe that it's an environment of balanced hormones that prevents disease. And I decided I would eat as though my life depended on it, and that's when I really took my diet relative to organic food seriously. So after they removed the bandages and I saw what I was left with, they said, you have two options. We can give you either implants, and I said, why implants? They said, well, you have to do both to create symmetry. And I said, you're going to remove my good one? I don't think so. And I don't want a foreign object in my body. And they said, well, we could do a tram flap, which is a procedure that's done routinely where they cut a woman from hip to hip and remove the stomach muscle and a blood vessel and move it up to the breast and kind of create a breast, which just, there's a long recovery time, and the look of it is not natural. I said, you know what, sew me up, and something better will come along. And I was lucky that we were able to maintain the nipple and skin. But I had radiation, which kills the breast, and so month after month, year after year, it got flatter and flatter and flatter until it looked as though I'd had a complete mastectomy and there was no breast there.